Hi. Are you approaching retirement and maybe you're not sure the direction you should take your life? Are you ready to make some kind of a decision and you're not quite sure how to make that decision? I'm going to share something with you today that might help. My name is Russell and welcome to Life Worth Living. A number of years ago, well, actually, I guess it was quite a while ago. It was probably 2003. We were living in Alaska and we went on vacation. We went to Valdez and we did some salmon fishing and some halibut fishing. And on the way back, we tried our hand at gill netting, or excuse me, dip netting, not gill netting. There's a big difference on the Chittenden River and didn't really have any luck. So we headed on home. We were living in a place called Delta Junction at the time. And on the way home, I was stopping at little lakes and stuff and fishing and catching some dolly varden and some other fish that are in the area and just having a good time. Had my wife and my two youngest kids with me. My oldest daughter was already in the Navy by that time. And we were getting close to where I patrolled. I was an associate pastor in Delta Junction, and I was working the pipeline as on security. I patrolled 157 miles of the pipeline. In that, there was an area called Myers Lake, and we were getting close to Myers Lake on our way back down to Delta Junction. And I told my wife, someday I'd like to fish Myers Lake. I drive by it every day, and I've never fished it. I got to fish it someday. And I didn't think anything more of it. And we come up on Myers Lake, past a little store slash post office slash bar slash restaurant. You'd have to appreciate Alaska. You'd have to know what that's all about. But we went past it, and I looked to the left where the actual lake was, and here are fish jumping, just jumping out of the water all over by the hundreds. And I looked at my wife and I said, I got to fish this now. So I found a place to park and I pulled out the road and I jumped out and went to the back of our pickup truck. I had a 1-ton crew cab 4x4 with a topper. And I jumped out and grabbed my fishing pole and I stuck my fishing knife in the back of my pocket and started on down the trail. Now I looked at this trail and it was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It looked like something out of a nature scene. It was nice and short and it was wide and it was just beautiful. I'm working my way towards the lake, which was probably 100 yards from where I was at. And as I'm going, it's getting narrower. And by the time I got within 10 feet of the lake, it was nothing more than a moose pass. And as I'm looking at the lake, it went down to where the lake was. There was some tepid water, some murky water. And then there was like an island. And I'm looking at this. I thought, I got to be careful because I didn't need to be falling in the water and getting stuck in the mud or anything like that. So I look at this island. I see here's this little bush, and I see the dirt around it on this island. I said, that's the place. So I jumped to this island right where this bush was. Well, that's when I found out that Alaska had floating grass mat islands. And I immediately started to sink. Now I'm trying to get off this island, and I don't want to jump because I'm afraid I'll break through the island, through the grass and stuff, and end up trapped underneath of it. And there's no way I'm just going to step off. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get off this island. And I'm not kidding you. It seemed like every black fly and mosquito for probably 20 miles decided they were going to show up right at that time, like they were waiting in ambush. So I'm swatting at these mosquitoes and these black flies and stuff. And I finally crawl off this island. I'm wet up to my chest. And I'm running back to my truck. My wife the whole time is watching me with binoculars. And I'm running back to the truck and I'm swatting at them and I get back and I throw my fishing pole in the back and I slammed it shut and locked it down and jumped in the seat of the truck. I'd lost my lure. I'd lost my fishing knife. And I'm breathing hard. Like I said, I'm wet up to my chest. And my son, bless his heart, he leans forward and he says, there's going to be a sermon in this, isn't there, Dad? And I said, yes, son, there is. And I did give a sermon on this. I called it All Bogged Down and Boogered Up. It was the first time I ever gave this message, this story in a message. The reason I'm telling this story is when I started out on this trail, it looked great. I didn't pay attention to what was going on as I'm working my way down the trail. It was getting worse and worse and worse, and I just was oblivious to it. And I finally got to the end, and it was plenty of red flags for me to say this is not the place to be. And I ignored every single one of them. Here's the thing. As you're choosing a path, what might look good at the first may not end up good. It may end up just being a moose path, like I had found at the end. The second thing about this, not only do you have to pay attention as you're going along, when you realize that it's not what you think it should be, it's never too late to turn around. It's never too late to go back to where you started from and start again, to find a new way. And even if you get to your chest, buried in the chest in water, it's still not too late. Just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you can't make your way out of that problem. You can't work your way out of the situation. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're moving, you can continue to choose another path, a path that gets you to the destination that you want to reach. And the thing is, I'd have never found any of this out if I didn't at least start. So as you're choosing your way, as you're choosing whatever it is you're wanting to do, or maybe you're not sure what you want to do, look at your options, find what looks good, do some homework, and press on. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. Because I'm here to tell you that as you're living life, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have problems. You're going to choose wrong. But that's all right. Are you going to learn from it? If you do, it's not wasted. So in life, whether you're 20, 40, 60, 80, you're going to have options to choose from. You're going to have decisions to make. If you make no decision, I believe it was Sun Tzu said to take no action is an action. So choose something. Do something. Find a way to move forward. And if it's not the right path for you, then back up and start all over. Find the right one. That's how you make life worth living. That's how you come up with stories and anecdotes and stuff to talk about to other people, things to help them out when they're having a rough time making decisions. So that's what I had to share with you. And if you have any comments, if you think I was just dumb, put a comment down. Oh, and by the way, if you've noticed, I've lost my whiskers because it's almost spring and I don't need to keep my face warm anymore. If you were watching this before and noticed, that's what's going on with that. But I'd appreciate it if you put a comment, good or bad. Let me know what you think. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Thank you very much for your time. Lord bless you.